Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Sana Rehmat and I am a faculty outreach advisor at XtremeLabs. Today I'm really glad and excited to welcome you all at XtremeLabs' third MCT Meetup for the month of August. This MCT Meetup is co-hosted by Armando Lacerda. He is an Azure Data Platform Architect and Engineer at Microsoft. He has worked as an independent consultant for companies worldwide, helping them implement cloud data transformation pipelines and machine learning solutions. He helps developers integrate and migrate multiple applications to the cloud as a Microsoft MVP and MCT. You can find him sharing his knowledge and experience of 30 plus years in the IT industry in classrooms, user group meetings, and international conferences. He has also been a speaker at EXL 2022 in July. You all can watch his recordings at XtremeLabs YouTube channel. So without any further ado, I would like to hand over this session to Armando. Over to you, Armando. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
Thank you. Appreciate. Hello, everybody. Thank you, XtremeLabs, for having me here with this MCT Meetup. I've watched the previous two installments of this sessions, and they're great. We have this open talk about any subject around the MCT program, which is nice, right? To have, an open room. It's like having me in a restaurant, sit around the table, and let's talk about being an MCT and the things that are in the program. So great to be here. You are welcome to interact with me as we move along. Although I have, a slide deck here, I got some slides to show, like I came a little prepared with some topics, but it's open mic. You can put your questions in the chat window. I'll be looking there as we move along, and Sana will also help me out monitoring the chat window. And if you're comfortable with the microphone or even turn your camera on, it would be great to see your faces so we can have an eye-to-eye conversation, sort of. So like she mentioned, I'm a Microsoft MVP, been an MVP for 4 years. I'm starting my 5th year, and I'm also an MCT. Of course, I'm here. And I've been MCT for 26 years. I was looking there for my bag. They sent me a bag with 25 years anniversary, which is a pretty nice bag. I love it. Don't use it, but I love it. It looks pretty cool. I'm from Brazil, by the way. So my accent is Brazilian Portuguese, not like Tiago's, that is Portugal's Portuguese, but mine is Brazilian Portuguese. And I started my career as an MCT down there back in 1994. It's great here to be with you. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. It's my preferred way to get connected with people nowadays. Nobody sends email around, right? Emails go to spam folders and all of that. So if you want to get connected and exchange some messages, LinkedIn is your best deal. My Twitter feed is like an echo of what happens on LinkedIn. I usually, whatever I put in there, echoes down in Twitter. But if you want to connect there in Twitter as well, we'll be there. I do have an account on Facebook, but it's more for personal things. So if you want to watch me riding my motorcycle around Highway 1 here in California, Northern California, you're gonna find some posts and pictures and all about that in there, and other things I do in my family. Anyways, and of course the clicker is not clicking the slide deck; it's clicking something else. So let me get this guy here back into the slide deck. Now it goes. So what I brought here for us to talk about, and of course, again, open mic, you're welcome to join in and, ask, propose a new topic of sorts, and ask me questions as we move around. But, the two topics that I decided to bring in for this session is around the MCT benefits, and a very particular benefit around the MCT benefits that I forgot to mention, I'm a regional lead, and I'm an MCT regional lead because there is no logo for that, so there was not that in the logo. The MCT regional lead is a volunteer position that where you, as an MCT, you volunteer to help other MCTs through the community channels of the MCT community channel. There is a reference on the website, for the MCT Central website, for the regional lead for the regions around the world. I'm mostly focused on the US and down Brazil because I speak Portuguese. So I'm helping these two regions, but open worldwide. And when I'm talking to MCTs, helping them out with questions or just when they onboard, and sometimes they find the list there and they email us. One of the things that there are a lot of questions about the benefits, and there is one benefit in particular that people really ask about is the Azure Pass, and there is a lot of misunderstanding about the Azure Pass. So I kind of, gonna devote some time in here to go around that. And also, I don't know if you come to the realization yet, but Microsoft official curriculum, the way we know it, we used to know it, is no more, right? It's different. It's not there anymore. So I also get some slides of the EXL conference that's Sana mentioned in the opening today that I presented during that conference. I want to present here too to make sure we are, we start the conversation. We understand where we are in terms of materials and what we have for our classrooms. How does that sound like? All right, so let's talk about the benefits. So here we are, right? We are Microsoft MCT. We got certified. We got the MCT certification through the channels that are there. You get certified in the technology, and once you get certified in technology, you get vouched by a training agency. One of those there in the list on the Microsoft certification MCT certification website, and you became an MCT. When we became an MCT, we got a lot of benefits from the MCT program. We have exam discounts, and I love the exam discounts. I just booked one before this class here. I'm gonna take another exam tomorrow, so 75% discounts on selected exams. It's pretty much now all the exams now, because in the past used to be selected exams, the ones that are role-based certifications for the cloud. But now the only exams that are out there are the role-based certifications for the cloud. So you pretty much get 75% on any exam that is out there. And so, yeah, I just booked one. That's a great benefit. There's also the benefit, discounts on Microsoft Press books, which is a great deal too. Gives you some visibility. That's kind of another good benefit in there. And there are a collection of benefits that we get, right? I wear multiple hats in my career. One of them is MCT, and I have consultants. I have a bunch of other ones. But when I get my MCT hat on, there are moments in my when I'm working as an MCT that I'm just researching technology. Something came up in Azure, something during the Azure feeds. They said, "We released this new feature here." There is this new service that came along. Azure Data Lake is doing something different. I'm in the data platform, so go a lot in the data platform. But like Azure Function is coming with a new feature, and you can test it like that. Or there is this new SQL DB feature for development. So we get to, sometimes we want to go in and investigate some technology, but we don't want to spend our MCT $150 monthly benefit on that one. And we don't want to get into an environment we already created for us to work with. So one of the, especially if I'm doing that for myself, I can use my $150 Azure benefit for that. I just want to check a particular feature or something that came up. I want to test that one. So one of the benefits that I get is that $150 monthly MCT credits. That benefit comes with the MSDN. It used to be MSDN, I think now it's My Visual Studio, right? It comes with that subscription in there. So you get that subscription. You can download any software you want to from the download center from the MSDN library, and you get that 150. Depending on the type of certification you have, it can be $100, can be $150 monthly to test Azure technology. So this one is me as an MCT, really savvy. I'm something's new. I want to go after it, and I can use that one for that because I'm just researching technology. So that's one of the benefits. The $150 that comes along with your MCT certification and the technology you certify to in the MSDN subscription. So there we go. But then, still with my MCT hat on, I may be booked for a class. People contact me. I'm an independent contractor, and people come after me and say, "You know what, Armando, I need you to teach this class." I say, "What class?" I need you to teach the DP050, migrate to SQL. And perhaps I teach that class once or twice a year because it doesn't have that much demand. At least I don't see that demand. So I need you to teach that class. I say, great, book me in. I'm certified for that. I can do that one. But I need to go back to the courseware material and prepare myself for the class because I have to brush it off from my brain. Download the backup, the restore tape with the class and get ready for the class. So some prep time. For the prep time, not when I'm investigating feature, but for the prep time for Azure classes that I'm going to deliver, I can use this thing here. Let me get my mouse here. I have a feature here, this clicker that kind of zooms in. I can use this feature here called the Azure Pass. So there is this option we have with our MCT benefits of issuing ourselves those requests Microsoft to send us an Azure Pass. That will give us some extra credits to use in Azure, completely separated. Oops, let me get to laser in here. completed separated apart from the Azure subscription, right? That we get from MSDN. So this is one, and this one usually keep it month to month as long as an MCT. It keeps it month to month. Other resources I come to create, the storage and the files I upload, they keep in there. It's there. This one here with the Azure Pass is actually just for class preparation, not for delivery, right? For preparation. Like I said, I got a call. Can you teach DP050? Yes, I can. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. I need to prepare again because it's been a while. I haven't taught that class, or it's the first time I'm going to teach that class. So I can ask for an Azure Pass and create an environment that will not mess up with my researching environment. Will be a separate environment, separated tenants. Everything is completely disconnected, and I can run that thing until the credits run over, right? And when I'm done with the credits, I'm ready for the class. I don't need that anymore. I throw everything away, and I'm good to go. Again, notice here, let me get the zoom back in. Notice here that I made sure to put this thing here on a particular color. And this one here, it's like orange of sorts. I put in a particular color because this one is the one you request for yourself. When you go into the classroom and start teaching the class, and that's pretty much how students look at us, who is this monster with 3 eyes? So this kind of how we look to students is what I feel sometimes when they look at me and say, this guy looks strange. So when we go to the classroom to teach whatever delivery we're going to teach, whatever class we're going to teach, we don't use the same Azure Pass. So that Azure Pass we can request to prep for classes. We don't ask that to deliver classes. In order to deliver the class, to go in front of people and teach the class online or in person, whatever, the training provider, the learning partner who put the class together is responsible to give you an Azure Pass. If the class is running on Azure Pass, is supposed to give you your own Azure Pass for you to teach and present your content, doing your demos to the entire audience. We are not to use our Azure subscription for that, and we are not to issue an Azure Pass from our benefits to use in the classroom. That's actually a break from the right use of this Azure passes we get as our benefits. So in the classroom, we are not to use any of our benefits. We are to use the elements that are provided by the learning partner, right? This is a very important thing, and it's written there in the agreements and all the paperwork there for the MCT. But it's kind of a clumsy, and people get a little confused sometimes. We just don't read, right? You have to sign, otherwise you don't become an MCT. So we don't pay much attention to those things. So in this session here, the XtremeLabs is hosting for us, I want to make sure we go over these things and we, get these things straightened out because, when you break the regular use of the benefits, like your MSN software is for you. So we are not supposed to sell these licenses, right? We can issue the license for us to test, but we're not supposed to sell those. We're not supposed to give Azure passes to anybody else. This is our Azure pass for class preparation. So if you deviate from these things, right, from this right way of using these benefits, we can get in trouble. So we don't want to get in trouble. And as a regional lead, I'm trying to help you out here to understand how these things work. All right. To wrap this up here, I see there was some activity here in the chat window. Let me see. We would love to know about you. Please introduce yourself. Oh, okay. This is Hannah. All right. All right. And okay. So to wrap this up in here, this whole thing about Azure Pass is being around for years. Can't remember how many years, 4, 5, 6. It's been around for years. But Microsoft doesn't like this infrastructure that they put together, right? This benefit based on Azure Pass they put together. They don't like it much. They themselves, they're like, yeah, we're looking for replacements for this. And they're working with XtremeLabs and other lab providers to replace the need of Azure Pass. And they'll come up with something else. With XtremeLabs, okay, so these are our three elements in there, or 3 roles. But as I was saying, with Extreme Pass, what they came up with is this guy here called a SEP. See this feature in XtremeLabs when hosting labs called SEP. It's an acronym, and Sana may help me out here because I can't quite remember the meaning of the acronym right now. But it has to do with not using Azure Pass in classroom anymore. So the idea is when we join in, and you may have taught a class like that already. I have taught classes like this with XtremeLab and other lab providers a lot. All my classes, actually, they have been like that. So when we jump into the classroom, I don't have to give the students their Azure passes, and I don't need to request one for myself. The environment has the Azure subscription already there. It already has a Office 365 account for me and the tenant, right, to use in my lab environment. So I do not really to worry about setting up and giving Azure Pass to anybody. It's already there. So the Azure Pass in the classroom for a lot of the Azure classes, they are not required anymore. So we don't have to worry about the Azure passes. And for lab preparation, yes, Anna?
Yes, Armando. So CEP stands for Cloud Express Pass.
Cloud Express Pass. There we go. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate. And back in here,
Cloud Express Pass. Yeah.
Back in here, when we are preparing for the class, remember, sometimes we are in MCT, we're not researching for features, we are preparing for classes. So when you are preparing for classes, the lab provider may also give to us and provide to us the same resource they give in the classroom. So over time, I will not need an Azure Pass to prep for a class either. Actually, for a lot of classes today, I don't need to issue myself an Azure Pass to prepare for the class. I just go log in into XtremeLabs or the other lab providers. I log in there with my account and I look at the classes that are available in there, just jump in and everything is in there. The Azure subscription is in there. The tenant is already there with the accounts specific for that environment. So even here, when we're preparing, Azure passes eventually will completely go away. And we're going to use the cloud experience that the lab providers give to us. So this is where we are transitioning into, right? We will keep, for now, at least I haven't heard from Microsoft any other way, we will keep our researching subscription, where we go and research whatever you want without any tie to any class that I'm going to deliver or prepping to deliver. But when I'm prepping to deliver, I will use the lab provider resources with their feature to pre-provision the Azure subscription for that class. And when I deliver, that same environment will be there, which means that we are going to an end of an era where Azure Pass will be gone, right? Rest in peace and will not be missed, because I gotta tell you, I hate giving the Azure passes to students when we go into the classrooms. And I cannot count how many times, the student had, sometimes when it was in person, we used to give paper around, so they have to type those things in there. And then they decide to put a spreadsheet online so they could copy and paste. So we don't spend 30 minutes for people trying to type a key that they cannot type. And when they copy and paste the wrong one. They take the other students pass, and then it become a mess. They invalidate the pass by using an account that they have seen an Azure subscription before. It was a mess. So usually when things die, we kind of mourn. But this one brings a smile to my face. I can't wait for Azure Pass to be gone forever. I don't want to see this thing again. All right, let's see if we have questions. And again, microphone is open. If you guys want to jump in the microphone, you are welcome. Let's see. That's Sana. Yes.
Armando, Angel is appreciating your explanation about Azure Pass.
Oh, nice. You're welcome, Angel. My pleasure. What else is there? Let's see. People are timing. Good. Good, Brian. Glad you're enjoying the session so far. MCT benefits one pager. Let's click on this link and see what pops up. That Angel just posted in the chat. And get myself here smaller so you can see that in one screen. Oops. And of course, because this one here, it's like this. I think there is a zooming feature here somewhere. Let's do this. There we go. So what do we have? MCT software and service, the Azure Pass, the Azure Pass program, site to request it. Microsoft Labs is one of the lab providers. Course access, So this one here is from the past, right? This one here is it's no more. It's my next topic, by the way. So this one here
Yes,
kind of
Armando.
belongs to.
Yes, Armando. Angel is asking about when will this page be updated, because it dates back to 2020.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I really don't know. We have reasoned this to Microsoft Worldwide Learning for this one here. They're transitioning a lot of things in there. There's a lot of things going on. So it's probably on their to-do list, but I have no idea when this will be updated. I'll keep you posted. Keep looking to the MCT community. You're going to see me and the other regional leads there. And also Microsoft will probably do some sort of announcement on the newsletter. All right, so this one is from the past. The Learning Download Center is still there. I have some more words about that later. The MCT store is there, but there are not many much options there for merge. I have bought some shirts. I got a white one. I love the white one. Super cool. It's where I got that logo from the MCT guy there. The exams, like I mentioned before, see MCT 75% of select exams available exclusively through the offer on MCT Central. And that offer there, I think that those exams are just for the role-based certifications in Azure, but now all exams are like that. So I think all exams are 75% for us at this moment. And keep an eye on the beta. Betas are hard to jump in, because the beta exams, when they send the word out, they have only 300 vouchers and first come, first serve basis. So usually they do that on Pacific time. I'm kind of in the same time zone, so I try to be on the lookout early in the morning when they're supposed to show up. But hard to get. The other day I applied for two, the AZ 800 and 801 when they came along. I applied for both at the same time. I got the 800. I missed the 801. It was already all the 300 vouchers were already taken, so I had to take the live one when it came live. Books, like I mentioned before, perfect, and the MCT Central and MCT support. Perfect. This is our list. Thank you, Angel, for sharing the link. Let me minimize this guy here and go back to this, and that would be this, and go back to this. Any more activity on the chat window? Armando, do you know when? Okay, that was the question that's already mentioned. And someone joined the meeting. Perfect. All right, let's keep moving here. Let's go to my next topic. And like Sana mentioned, we still have like 25 minutes in this session here. After my next one on the mock one, if you have any other topic you would like to discuss, you know, we are all MCTs. We are here to talk about the program and how we can help each other to deliver better classes, right? So bring up topics and questions, show up in a camera. You're welcome to participate. All right, moving on. Question and answers done. Let's talk about courseware. And I gotta tell you, every time I bring this image back here, every time I bring this guy back up, you know, my heart kind of warms. You know, oh, what the glorious day of the past. Old people like me, you know, very old, ancient people like me that have been around for so long, we have this thing about looking to the past. It's a, you know, it's a good habit because we got good memories, but sometimes it's a bad habit. It's a bad thing because it makes it not liking much what we have today and appreciate what we have today. But when I look at this one here, I really remember, you know, getting the courseware and open the box, unpack the thing, and open, you know, the wrapper with the smell of pages coming up, new pages, you know, new paper coming up, and start digging through the material. Oh man, I gotta tell, I'm a geek. I really loved it. Actually, somehow I think I passed that to my daughter because, you know, my daughter is 18 years old. My youngest one is 18 years old. And she actually likes to read real books, physical books, paperback books, instead of reading her Kindle. She's like, I like to go to the library or go to the bookstore and buy books because I like the smell of the book. Say, all right, I think I got her in the right way. Yeah, so these were pretty good days. But there was a problem with this guy. And the problem is technology changes faster than they can send out pages to replace old ones in these binders. So even when they change to smaller packages, try to make this, I think in my sense, cheaper, because this one I got the binder is probably more expensive, and you know, it was bigger to send around in these boxes and all of that. And at some point, those books from the past became digital content in SkillPipe. And for a long time, to be honest, when it became digital elements of SkillPipe, even though I loved this, I really liked this because as an independent contractor, I used to travel a lot. I'm not traveling that much anymore for classes. Everything has been online for a very long time, even before COVID. But I used to travel a lot. And then like if I have 2 classes in a row and I have to travel from place to place before I get home, I had a bag just for the books, like, you know, heavy one. I have to check in just for the books. So when it became like this, I was like, great, I don't have to carry books around. I love it. So, you know, this was a really good resource. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people complained about it, and I get their complaints. It was not a perfect tool. And it's still around. I'm talking the past tense because it's being retired, but it's you know, it was a good tool. Some features that never worked. And like for me, those features of adding a note and share with the classroom never worked. I never got things to work for me. I think it's because I'm a contractor trainer, so the learning partner never set up my account correctly. So whatever note I made on my courseware, my students could never get it. But the fact that we can go in and get new contents every time there was a new release of these things from A to B to C, it was good. I really enjoyed working with this tool here. But as you may be aware of, Microsoft decided to make their entire courseware library, you know, everything. I mean, not the whole thing they have created from all time, right? But the current things that they have out there, they decided to make the library available for free on Microsoft Learn. This is bought. The learning partners, they sell these things to the students. Same thing here. Same thing here on the gated content from SkillPipe. So you get a license. You got in learning partner would sell the class, and we'll sell license, right? To get access to this. So Microsoft came along and said, you know what? We want people to learn our technology. We want people to, to get up to speed as fast as possible. So let's ungate this and let's make everything that's in here available for free. And that's what they have done. They got all the content, the current content that's in there, especially for Azure training and some other topics, and they made available on Microsoft Learn. And this is a couple of slides from my session on EXL. And you can see here, right? If you zoom in here, let me get my zoom in back in. Where's my zoom? Here. If you zoom in back in here, it's really small. Even with the zoom, it's hard to read. But the point here is this: the AZ900. This would be AZ900 too. So this content that is in here, all this chapter that is in here, they became learning paths. Somewhere in here, it's written learning path. You can check online. You probably have seen this already. So it became learning path. And there is a mapping, right? Like this one here has 5 modules plus the module 0, right? So it has actually 6 modules. So we have 6 learning paths in Microsoft Learn kind of mapping. And this mapping here happens with the content that was already published before this transition started. So Microsoft decided to keep, the same structure from the courseware that was already there into Microsoft Learn. What I have noticed with the new ones, with new topics and the exams that are coming up that was not there before in SkillPipe, it's that they're a little bit more loose in terms of the structure. It's not so structured as this one is to be, and that makes it more fluid. People can learn on bites and pieces, and it's kind of interesting, especially the ones that there were no content there before. In case, we can see this mapping there, and when you open one of the modules like this one here from module 4, the topics that were in the module 4, they are topics. There are sections inside a particular learning path in Microsoft Learn. So they're pretty much mapped one-to-one in there. This particular one here, you can see more details on my recording and in the conference, in the EXL conference. But like this one here, see there is some hands-on going on in here, some walkthrough that a trainer would demo, right? How to do something that you don't see in here. So these walkthroughs, they are usually hosted on GitHub. There are some GitHub pages there with the list of walkthroughs, and you can go in those pages, and if you're learning by yourself, you just follow the steps that are in there. And if you are the trainer, just go there, kind of refresh, brush up your brain, and get ready to do the demos when you are in. But the main takeaway of this thinking here is what I told my students this class. I just finished teaching a class this week for one of the learning partners. I just taught this class this week. And at the beginning of the class, the students came in and I was like, okay, so yeah, Armando, B, we're here in the class, all of that. And this is how you get to your lab environment. So I showed them how to log into the web environment, which by the way was CEP already. So it was nice, no Azure pass around. And when we were there, I was showing them, look, this is how you do these things. Here on the sidebar, you have the lab instructions. And usually when you go into a classroom for training, you are handed a book, right? A book, a courseware, some sort of a learning material. Well, I'm not going to give you one. I'm going to give you links. In the PowerPoint slides we have today from Microsoft, at the end of all PowerPoint slides that you download from the Download Center, there is a collection of links for these learning paths where the students can go and learn. And because the classes we teach, they're usually bound, somewhat related to a courseware certification, they can also go there to the courseware certification page, to the exam page, and find the learning paths there. So, to my students, what I've been doing lately is exactly this. You go here to the browser and you go, like, okay, we are here for Microsoft SC900, for instance. We are here for Microsoft SC900. Make sure you are on the Microsoft website. We're heading there, right? Not to one of those brain dumps or something else. So heading there, and let me get here. It's more here on the corner. So, yep, we are on SC900. This is the content, right? The main topics of the content. And down here, when we have the ways to prepare for the exam, these are your learning paths. Whoops. Oh, my zoom in may not be working. Let me go back in here. This is your learning paths right here, right? This is your learning paths. And as we move through the topics throughout the class, you can find these links. You can come here, find these links, and go through these learning paths and learn, read on your own time and pace. Sometimes there are even videos there, and learn on your time and on your own time and pace, and read the content that is there available for you. So your courseware material is this. You don't have a book. I don't have a key to give to you to a library where you access your courseware material. This is your courseware material. And students have been fine with that so far. They're there in the classroom. Usually they're sponsored by Microsoft to be there in the class. And they're like, great, I'm here. I have a trainer. I'm going to learn from the trainer, which is nice. And I have a courseware material to take a look later. So students, at least from my experience so far, they have been taking this well. From my end, I do miss the old days when I have a book to read from, a kind of a structure over there. But my classes have been really, really more adaptable, because I come to choose what I want to focus on, focus off. There is no people in the classroom like open a page. What about this? Trying to check my knowledge with the book. Usually when they come with questions like, I'm trying to do this. Can you help me doing that? So I have that interaction way better than the other one. So yeah, so that's what we have about that one. And I'm gonna repeat this one here because I just like it, right? Keep calm. A lot of people get freaked out when this, and I'm one of them. Sometimes I like pull my hair off. So I was doing this. I'm not supposed to change. You don't need to change that. Everybody teaches with books, but I think it's a good approach. It has been working. I've been doing this for the past 7 months. When it's still kind of a working beta in the back end, and I had a hard time to adapt at the beginning. But now I'm fine. I'm really enjoying. So keep calm and keep teaching Azure. Keep calm and be awesome in the classroom. And let's keep delivering our classes. Great time to be a Microsoft certified trainer.
Armando, I had a question for you.
Yes, Brian. Thank you for opening up and open the microphone and coming up.
So I did the AZ305, and this was my first time to actually see that. And I'm doing the PowerPoint slides, walking through everything, and I'm trying to give the students more work, because there's obviously students that are always a little bit ahead and moving forward, things like that. But when I went to show them like MS Learn, it's identical content. So the PowerPoint slides and the MS Learn are identical. So is this what's happening now? So what are we there for? Is my big question.
Why? So your question is, why are we there for, right? The content. You're correct. Microsoft, like I said, from the content that was already there and then migrated into Learn, they're following the same structure. So the topics that are in the PowerPoint slides, they are just topics. And if you go into the Microsoft Learn, usually they have reading pages or videos with extra information in there. The way I see it, our role while I'm there in the classroom is to share in my way, how to do the things. In many cases, in some of my classes, I use the slide decks at the beginning, just for just for show. This is me, my certifications, this is the outline of the class. We're gonna do this and this and that.
Sure.
But for the most time, like second, third day, I usually don't even open the PowerPoint slides. I have it on the back on my side here as a guidance, and I go walk through demos on the whole thing on what they're supposed to learn. And if I need a diagram or so, I put them up on a PowerPoint. But in my sense, I'm there to share with them my take, my view on the content and how they can benefit on their own role, whatever they're doing in their companies from that content. And formal reading can be done on Microsoft Learn, definitely. So that's what I'm there for, to share my experience and my insights on the topic.
So is there no external content like above and beyond? Because that's always been what MS Learn has been. It's like here's a subset of the content or some different ways to look at it.
The above and beyond on that one, in my sense, the way I've been structuring my classes is the actual documentation, because Microsoft Learn is the structured path to learn a particular technology. So if I want to go above and beyond, actually deeper and beyond on a particular subject, I go into the documentation, show them in the documentation. For instance, if I'm doing Power BI and I'm teaching about creating a report and put visualizations in there. So I bring the visualizations in on the canvas, show them how to set up some of the aspects of the visualization. Then I know if they go to Microsoft Learn, they will see kind of the same thing happening there with some topics. And then I tell them, if you get a visualization, don't know how it works, this is how you go deep. And I show them how to get to the Power BI documentation for all the visualizations that come out of the box in Power BI desktop, and how to learn about each one of them and their walkthroughs there Microsoft make available. So that's my going above and beyond of what is in the courseware, specifically for Power BI visual report design.
Okay,
if that helps.
That's truly one of the things that's missing now, because at least before it would give you some different notes or links or things like that, and it's like it is identical. So I got thrown into the course. I had 24 hours to prep for it, and I had no errata, no external documents or anything. So unless you're truly prepped for it, you could be in a bad spot.
You can. That's really true. The days to wing it in a class and see if I can follow a book with the elements in there. I have done it a few times. I'm not proud of it. Let's try to wing this through because the other trainer got sick or something. So let's try to help the students out so I can get the book and try from there. Yeah, it's going to be tougher to do that now.
Yeah, that was my fallback, was like, okay, if there's an issue or something like that, or some student that's going through faster, hey, go run these labs, and now there's nothing extra.
No. So your first question was about what do I have to offer extra in the classroom. The second aspect of this that I think you're touching on is when I'm prepping for the class, where can I find extra things besides what is in Microsoft Learn, right? Besides what's in the labs. My preferred resource for that is going into the documentations of the products and looking to the walkthroughs. Most of Microsoft's services in the class in Azure, they do have some sort of walkthroughs to get things started. And I use this for my own sessions when I'm presenting to user groups or conferences. I don't reinvent the wheel. I go in there, get whatever they have, and tweak it on my way and something I want to focus. Some product groups inside Microsoft, they actually offer those things and they publish it. Like if you're a SQL Server guy, if you follow Bob Ward has a OneDrive open in the clouds, and you can go there anytime, pick whatever demonstration you want to pick, including the slide decks, and bring it to whatever setting you are, including the classroom. So that's some extra thing that I could show on a SQL class besides what is in the courseware. So you have to go around outside Microsoft Learn for that, definitely.
Okay. I was making sure I wasn't crazy. So
no, you're not. We are all in the same whirlpool.
Yeah, they could have prepped us a little more for that.
I agree. They have had they have ran some lunch and learns for these changes. Microsoft for a few years they have hired some trainers to work as Microsoft technical trainers to deliver to their enterprise customers. And sometimes they have they cannot attend all the clients with the people they have on board, so they call instructors from us, from this side of the fence. So I had the chance to work with them way earlier this thing became really public. So I had a hard time. I was called out a couple of times. Hey, you're not doing this thing right. So that's why I'm here. I'm love to be here and share what I have learned and get people ready. Now that it became public, I think 2 months ago, 3 months ago, that Microsoft is doing this move. They are taking this move. They are really publishing it and kind of trying to advertise it through these lunch and learns. I think the last one was last weekend. But again, get the word around in the MCT community sometimes tough. So yeah, not good advertising. I agree.
Well, I've seen a couple of those, but nobody says, hey, it's the exact same content.
So hey, it's exactly the same content. But I'm not Microsoft. I'm just an MCT like you. All right. What else do we have? Anybody else out there? Everybody else is quiet. Sana, how's the chat window?
Armando, I cannot see any questions in the chat.
Thank you.
But we have some new people who joined us in the middle of the session. Slavko and Vipin.
Welcome, guys. And this is an open, ask me anything kind of a thing, open round table. So if you want to get questions on the chat window, or even better, if you want to open up your microphone and suggest some questions to go around, that would be great. We've been discussing the Azure Pass benefit and the correct way of using the Azure Pass benefit. And this last topic was about the end of an age, right? The end of mock, and how the learning content is all made available for free on Microsoft Learn. So this is all that I prepared to bring in here. I cannot think of another topic to bring up for this last 7 minutes or so. So I'm gonna stand here, open microphone, for if you guys want to bring anything. Otherwise, it was a great pleasure to be here with you. Thanks again for XtremeLabs to host these sessions, and let's keep in tune for the next ones that are coming up.
Thank you so much, Armando, for being with us today and hosting this amazing MCT meetup. We are so glad that you could share your insight with our MCT community, and we are really glad that our MCT community participated at our event, and we hope to see you all at our next MCT meetup that will be hosted in the month of September. Thank you so much.